Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English with Chris presents English Word of the Day. Today's word of the day is blunt. Blunt. And we'll be using it as an adjective, the definition being having a thick edge or point, speaking or spoken in plain language without thought for other people's feelings. So let's get into some examples. According to the Doe Network, a non-profit organization dedicated to identifying John or Jane Doe cases, the cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma to the right side of the skull. And this is taken from Veronica Fulton, NBC News, 24th of July 2022. So if we look at this particular sentence, and focus on blunt, we have blunt force trauma to the right side of the skull. This, unfortunately, probably means that the person was hit with something like a baseball bat or something like that, where the blunt force, it's coming from this thick, rounded part. So it's not sharp, it's blunt. And our next one, but even the plot leaks were very blunt, sticking to the main events of the movie. Chris Smith, BGR, 4th of July, 2022. So the plot leaks were very blunt. In this particular case, we have blunt being used to show specifically what type of spoilers were being shown or what type of leaks were being shown. And it turns out that these particular leaks were very deliberate of the main events of the movie. So they're not small parts that are being shown that don't make too much difference. These are very important parts. So they were targeted specifically without caring that it's going to, ruin the plot for other people. And our last one here, the ruling could blunt the force of California's Private Attorneys General Act. This was Jan Wolf, WSJ, 15th of June 2022. So in this case, we want blunt the force. So the force is how effective this is going to be. So this California's Private Attorneys General Act. And if you're going to blunt that force, you're going to make it less effective. So the ruling could make this particular force less effective. And if we look at some synonyms, we get a bit of a better idea. So when we use the word blunt, as we saw, there are different ways to use it. We can use it as being dull. And this is again, well, actually, let's think about a pencil. If you're writing or you're drawing with a pencil, you start off with a sharp point, and that makes it easier to draw. The more you draw, the less of that point remains, and we would say that our pencil is then blunt. If you're no longer able to get a decent line coming from your pencil, and you could say that it's blunt. And we could then use the word dull as a synonym in that case to say that it's dull, so it has like a dull edge. Which leads us on to our next one, edgeless. So without an edge, edgeless, it's going to be blunt, it's going to be rounded. But then we have insensitive. So insensitive would be more referring to, let's say, your niece or nephew drew you a lovely picture. It took them a lot of effort, a lot of time. They're very pleased with the results. And you turn around and say, well, thank you. It's great. Not going to keep it though. Going to throw it away because it's not quite good enough for me, maybe. And that would be being very blunt. Of course, this isn't very tactful. And this is what you would say if you were not really considering the person's feelings or the fact that they put time and effort into something. You're just thinking, well, it's something that I don't want. I'm going to tell you that. And so this would be the insensitive synonym for the word blunt. Next two are back to the first two in relation. So round, it's a rounded edge, so it's not very sharp. And unsharpened, again, it's not been sharpened, it's not very sharp, it's blunt. If we look at our etymology, we can see blunt, adjective, roughly in 1200 century, blunt, blonde, dull, obtuse, of persons, of uncertain origin, perhaps from or related to Old Norse blundra, to shut one's eyes, or from Old English blinnen, past participle blon, to stop, cease, come to an end, of tools or weapons not sharp, without edge or point, in late 14th century, meaning abrupt of speech or manner, is from 1580s, or late 18th century Scottish writers used blunty for stupid fellow. Okay, so that's it for our word blunt. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do leave a like and consider subscribing. It would be great to see some more of you here. Especially seeing that I think something like 94% of my viewers are not subscribed. So please do subscribe. It'd be great to see you all more often here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care and bye for now. Bye bye.